we're going to hear for the first time from Mr. G. Rowett, and we're going to see the players return for pre-season in this video. Let's go. Hello, welcome back to our channel. This is Behind Closed Doors. Don't know what episode it is. We got some news today, didn't we? I will be back late with another video. But the Gaffer has said to everybody, calm down. Calm down. Signings are coming. He looks relaxed. He looks hungry. We're going to be trying to take other teams' best players. Calm down. Calm down. It's coming. He knows the situation we're in. He knows we're going to need to do business, and it looks like we are doing business. He said we got some things, very, 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 very exciting things lined up in the next few days. So keep an eye out for that. Calm down. The Gaffer has said it himself. I'm gonna stop rabbiting now. I'm gonna pass you on to the Gaffer. Calm down. Relax. Signings are coming. Coming lines. Well said, Garrick.
Gaffer, first of all, great to see you back here at Calmont Road.
Good to be back. I think the place looks really good. We've made a lot of improvements again, and again, it's a small training ground, but we've got to try and make it as good as we can. And I think this year it looks really, really good. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing the players today. Looking forward to seeing the staff today. Seeing cut up with quite a few staff yesterday, quite a few new staff as well. So it feels like a really fresh season, and I think because this year we haven't got any of the bits of the last 2 or 3 years, we know we're coming back to fans, we know where we are. I think it's a really exciting season, and after a strong season last year, we're looking forward to trying to build on that.
Let's talk about last season. Took it all the way to the final day, and it was a testament to yourself and the players and the backroom staff, just how hard you worked. Was there an element of perhaps surprise, considering all the hurdles that were put in front of you in terms of injury, that your players beat the odds essentially to take it all the way to the final day like that?
Not really, because I think when you work with them every day, you understand the character that's in the building, and we've spoke about it before. Sometimes what we lack in a little bit of talent, we make up for in bravery, heart, everything that a Millwall team should be. And I think last year, so when I looked back at it at the end of the season, when I sort of reviewed it myself, it was quite ridiculous, really, wasn't it? Like the amount of injuries, the amount of games where we had to make changes on a Friday, the amount of games Saturday I had to make changes on a Saturday morning. I'm sure we're not the only ones for different reasons. We lost key players. We had key players. With sort of transfer situations in January. It was a really tough year. So I think for us to bounce back in the way that we did and finish really strongly and take it so close, I think shows us really what we've got to do this coming season. And we worked really hard over the summer. I know it's difficult at the moment because people don't see 5-6 signings, but myself, Alex, Steve, John, with John's sort of input, and I've had John on the phone most days, desperate to see who we've signed and when we're signing people, because I think this year we're going to be pretty ambitious in the market.
Absolutely, and obviously, as you mentioned already, that as some departing players, you're going to have to fill those areas in the squad. But like you mentioned, behind the scenes, there's plenty of hard work going on in a market that's been a little bit quiet at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a quiet market. I think it always is. I think you want to do all your bit. I think that, again, I think the key bit is, I could have filled 2 teams and had them in now, but it's about the right players. And unfortunately, the right players, when teams don't want to sell their best players, and we want to try and take other teams' best players, where we can, and that's the aim. So I'd rather be patient with that. I think we're pretty close to a couple of things, and then a couple of other things are not far behind, and then it might then give us a little bit more time to wait for 1 or 2 areas and wait to see that second phase of players that always become available a little bit later in the window that are maybe better than sometimes the ones you can get early. But it's exciting. We're working hard. Don't think that I don't want the fans to think we're just sat here and why haven't we signed players? Because we've had some very, very exciting targets, and and we want to see if we can try and bring those over the line. Bit of patience. Sometimes I've got to hold my nerve. I've got to take a bit of flack, but I think it'll all be worthwhile when the players arrive.
It's about making the club attractive as well, and I think we've shown last season the progression this squad is making. You talk about fresh looks, we look at the training ground here, there's continual investment in the training ground to improve the facilities for the current players and incoming players.
Yeah, I think we're an attractive club anyway. You know, for a start, we're in London. Secondly, we've got a great history about the club. Thirdly, last year we had one of the best home records, namely because our fans are, you know, probably the best fans around. You know, and the atmosphere is as good as anywhere, and we've got to use that. We've got to build on that. You know, we're a club that we're not everybody's favourite at times, but in some ways we know what we are, and I think that's really, really important for any player coming. I think, you know, some players will love that and embrace it. Some players might not, and we want players that want to be here, and we want players that want to come and play for our club and sweat blood and tears. Around the training ground, you know, it's important. I've said it before, you know, we don't own the training ground. We've got plans for a new training ground, but it's important that we keep this training ground to the level that we need to. The new gym that we put in last year, some additions to that, you know, I think a little bit of love and care and improving some of the elements, and also bringing new staff in that I think can improve the support for the players. I think is also important. So I think the players need to see every year that we're moving forward. I need to feel like we're moving forward every year, and I think we're certainly trying to do that this year.
Players back in today, and you've mentioned before that gone are the days where they sort of come back unfit. They've had their programmes over the break. What can the players expect today, and are you sort of happy now you're sitting on the other side of the fence and not having to go through pre-season yourself?
I think there's two things. I think one is, because I'm not on social media, fortunately for the players, I haven't seen what most of them have been up to in the summer.
They've been good, they've been alright.
Sure, other people might update me via the odd gym picture. If I was a player, I'd be putting the odd gym picture on to make it look like I was working, even if it was 3 years old. I think it's going to be I'll be looking forward to seeing them again today. I think it's nice to see them. I think I'll be looking forward to getting back in. Pre-season's always tough, but I think it's very different to how it was years gone by to a certain degree. I think years ago, you know, you might put half a stone on in the summer, and pre-season the first 2 weeks was about losing that sort of weight and then getting fit. You know, now the players are just so much more professional. They come back fit. Some of them come back fitter than when they left. And am I glad I'm not doing it? Yes and no. I think that, you know, I'd love to be able to be out there doing it. I joined in with a few of the runs up till a few years ago, and now the only thing that's not diminishing in me with age, I think, is endurance. So I tend to go a little bit longer and a little bit slower these days, but the players are far too quick for me. But I'll enjoy shouting at them and enjoy, you know, encouraging them and taking the mick out of them, and you know, that I will look forward to over the next few days.
All in the build up to the start of the season. Fixtures out very soon, but we've got a couple of pre-season games already planned. A variation of opposition as well. Why is that important?
It's very important just to get different tests, to get different games. What we tend to do is, certainly in the first 3 or 4 games, I tend to use that as a little bit of a focus for each game. So, you know, often if we're playing a team lower down in the pyramid, then you'd expect to have more of the ball, so we can work a little bit more on our build-up play and go through some of those principles. Playing teams at a higher level than us, I think it's important, because often, again, you tend to be against the ball a little bit more, and you can work a bit on your pressing, you can work on your shape. Of course you work on all the other elements, but it's going to be a little bit more focused on that. And when the season starts, that's what you come up against. You come up against some teams who will give you the ball a little bit more at home, some teams away from home who you might not have as much of the ball, different styles, possession styles, counter-attack styles, physical styles. So I think it's important to try and get a blend of each. I think it's also important not to play too many teams. You know, there's no point playing 5 Premier League teams, because again, you know, it's a very different test to where you want to be. So again, it's important to have that little bit of a balance about your pre-season, and you know, to have some of those games at stadiums, so of course you can prepare that side of it as well. So looking forward to it. I think we've got a good balance of games. We've got a few behind closed door games, which of course, you know, for different reasons, and we've got a few that the fans can come to. So really looking forward to it.
the mother.
Okay. Thanks, great. Okay. Yeah, right. Well done. How are you, Rob? How are you? Right. Good. How are you doing? Big guy, you right? Somewhere, yeah?
Mate, already.
I'll tell you what, I haven't missed that traffic before I will say.
How you been though?
Yeah, good mate, you?
Yeah, sweet. Scotty's missed you. Ooh. Talk to us.
Rascals.
Talk to us.
I just thought I'd try something a bit different, mate. Do you know what I mean? Going to pre-season.
London, aren't we?
There he is.
London again, aren't we?
That's the difference.
Oh, boys. He's back.
He's back. Back like he never left.
New trim.
New trim, man. It's new me.
Good.
How you doing? You right?
It's been very well.
New Instagram.
New Instagram, had an amazing summer. Yeah, back to work now.
Missed it.
I missed it, yeah. Missed it since yesterday, to be honest, when I got back to London. Yeah, you know, it was cracking break. Yeah, we go again.
Hello, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Big fan.
Nice, isn't it?
This is like an extra large as well.
Nice one, fit.
They put extra in the back so I can have bigger birds.